Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning. My namesake. How are you?
Good morning, madam. Hajiya kina lafiya? Good morning. Thank you, Daddy. Kina lafiya? Well done, well done, well done. Well done. Hello, ya iyali. Well done.
Hello, sir. Thank you. Thank you for joining, sir.
Organizing.
Hello?
Thank you for organizing.
Now?
Thank you for organizing well.
Thank you, sir. Dean, are you there? Dr. Kasim? While we are waiting for our directors to join, let's just give people some more minutes, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Hello, Ibrahim.
Malama ina kwana?
An tashi lafiya. Are you in your office?
Kina office ne?
Ina office ina.
Ina shigo na office.
Okay. So while we are to Mama, the DFA, let's just give some little more time so that we can have it. Yes.
To shi ke, no problem.
Sure, she will join very soon.
Okay.
God, what is wrong with my Our dear scholars, thank you for joining in this morning. Just a little bit of few minutes waiting for our directors to join so that we can start. We'll soon start, maybe in the next 5 minutes, by the grace of Allah. So thank you everyone for joining. And happy Saturday morning. Hello, anyone in the house? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you, Haja Aisha.
Okay, thank you.
I'm hearing you, madam.
All right, thank you. So like I said earlier, while we're waiting for my directors to join in, we're going to give them the next few minutes. They join, then we can start, maybe 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes.
Good morning, Aisha. Good morning,
Oh, good morning,
Bashir,
sir.
and everyone else.
Good morning, sir. It's good to have you on board.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, so everybody, without wasting any much of our time, I think we can just start. I will start now by saying good morning, everyone in the house, our esteemed scholars, my distinguished directors. Our Director General is in the house. Scholars, please join me in welcoming the DG, the Director General CEO, Sir AHMADU BELLO Memorial Foundation, Engineer Bakar Gambo Umar. You're welcome, sir. And happy Saturday morning. I'd also like to recognize Alhaji Bashir Abo, one of our SABMF stakeholders. You're welcome on board, sir. To our distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in this Saturday morning. And I welcome you to this month's March 2026 series of our Sir AHMADU BELLO Memorial Foundation Youth Mentorship. Our topic for today is drugs and substance. Our topic for today is drugs and substance abuse among youth, the socioeconomic implication on the society. Our guest mentor for today is a well-known person to majority of us, especially among the scholars. And again, especially if you're a student of AHMADU BELLO University and if you're studying medicine. He's going to take us through reasons young people in recent times are getting more and more involved and are trapped in drugs and substance abuse, and the effect that this has on our society, socially and economically. So please join me as I introduce Dr. Muhammad Qasim, MBBS, MIAD, LMIH, USA. Dr. Qasim, are you there? Dr. Muhammad Qasim. Dr. Muhammad Qasim. Okay, while we wait for our presenter to respond, I would like to introduce also one of my directors too, Mr. Moses Ekirigwe. He's our Deputy Director of Finance. He's in the house. You're welcome, Mr. Moses. Dr. Kasim, are you on board now?
Hello. Good
Can
morning,
people
ma.
hear me, please?
Okay, we can hear you, ma. I hope I'm audible.
Okay, so Dr. Kasim, you're welcome on board.
I was trying to fix some problems with my tab.
Okay, so Dr. Kasim is a resident doctor at the Department of Family Medicine, ABU Teaching Hospital, Zaria. And at the same time, he's probably the Dean SABMF Scholars Forum. We have the Sir AHMADU BELLO Memorial Foundation Scholars Forum. Is one of the sub of the foundation, which is being managed by our scholars. So he happens to be the dean. So we shall be listening to Dr. Kasim in the next 45 minutes while he takes us through the interesting topic. And then we will also take the Q&A, question and answers, for 15 minutes before we round up. So please remember to keep your phones on silence and your microphones muted while we listen to our presenter of the day. Thank you very much. Dr. Kasim, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you very much for this introduction. Good morning, everyone. I will start by apologizing because this morning, I don't know why I used the PowerPoint. I used the Microsoft PowerPoint even this morning, but when I'm trying to open it, it's refusing to open. So I'm trying to fix that. Please, please, I will need to ask for your favor for just 2 minutes, please, to fix this problem. Thank you.
It's okay. You have the 2 minutes. Technology is beyond everybody. So you have the 2 minutes, please. Okay, so while we are waiting for the presenter to fix his PowerPoint, I'll also like to introduce our Director of Finance, Dr. Haruna Jumari, sir, Director of Finance and Administration of Sir AHMADU BELLO Memorial Foundation. Marat Izazo, you're welcome on board, sir. Good morning, sir. Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you, madam.
Okay, thank you, sir. Excuse me.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
How are you?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good
Thank
morning,
you.
sir. We are very fine, sir.
Well done. Thank you so much. We're waiting for the guest mentor.
Yes, sir. He says he needs 2 minutes to fix his PowerPoint
Okay.
for the
We wish you
presentation.
all. Okay, we're waiting. Thank you.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Good morning once again. I'm very sorry for this. I am able to download another app aside the Microsoft PowerPoint that we can use, and we are going to start now. So please, Hajia, Aisha, I don't know, I would like to share my screen.
Yes. Yes, please, you can share your screen. But before we go to that, let me quickly introduce the Director of Programs and Research, Hajia Amina Abdurrahman. She's on board. Good morning, Ma. You're welcome on board.
Good morning, Aisha. Good morning, everybody. I hope we're going to have a successful session. Dean, you are welcome. Our one and only Dean.
Thank you very much, Ma.
We are here and waiting eagerly to hear your pearls of wisdom. Thank you very much for accepting to mentor us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. That we are the ones that I've been meant actually.
All right, so Dean, you have the floor now. You can share your screen and start your presentation. Thank you.
Okay. So, I don't know, can you see my screen?
We can, okay. Not yet. It's still booting. It's trying to, okay.
Oh my God.
It's coming up, but has not shown yet.
So from my end, it's showing that the process has been activated, but I don't know.
You can't see anything. What I'm saying is you are sharing screen, but the screen has not shared itself.
Okay, I can see from the comments that one of the participants is saying, I am visible now.
Wait, I can, but go ahead. Just go ahead. Just start. This will be listening to you.
All right, but I need everyone to see my screen. Actually,
yes, it's visible. It's visible now. You're sharing.
All right.
It's visible. We're seeing you. We're seeing the screen.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Go ahead, Dr. Kasim.
Thank you very much, sir. Our distinguished guests, the distinguished leaders, members of staff and management of Sir AHMADU BELLO Memorial Foundation, the members of Sir AHMADU BELLO Memorial Foundation Scholars Forum, all the people present in this mentorship session, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good morning. As introduced, I'm Dr. Muhammad Kasim. I am a resident doctor with Department of Community Medicine, AHMADU BELLO University Teaching Hospital Zaria. And I happen to be the Dean of Sir AHMADU BELLO Memorial Foundation Scholars Forum. Thank you very much for giving me this privilege. It is both an honor and responsibility to be with you today to discuss a subject that is silently reshaping our society in a negative way. the drug and substance abuse among the youth. This is not just a health issue. It is not just a moral issue. It is fundamentally a developmental crisis that strikes at the very heart of our future as a nation and at the very heart of our future as a region, the Northern Nigerian region. I'm going to tailor most of the discussion to Northern Nigerian setting, as this is the area that we are in and we are very much interested in. So I would like to begin with a simple question, but can be a troubling question actually. What happens to a society when its most energetic, most productive, and most promising population becomes trapped in cycles of substance dependence? This is actually a big question. And the question that needs to be answered by everyone, right from our policymakers down to each and every member of the society. So the answer is clear, that society's future becomes bleak and uncertain. So just imagine this as something that happened in our society, in our northern Nigeria. We are not there yet, but as we are going to see soon, the process has already been initiated. I'm going to follow this outline for the presentation. So as an introduction, substance abuse refers to the harmful or hazardous use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol and illicit drugs that alter mental processes and behavior. These substances can lead to dependence, impaired judgment, and long-term health complications. The common substances that are abused include alcohol, cannabis, that is sometimes called marijuana, tramadol, codeine containing cough syrups, tobacco, and stimulants. Because we don't usually use the term substance abuse recently because of the stigma that is associated with it. So in its place, we usually use harmful use of substances. So harmful use is a pattern. This term was introduced actually to reduce the stigma associated with the use of the word substance abuse. So harmful use is a pattern of psychoactive substance use that is damaging to physical and or mental health. So it can affect the physical health, for instance, if you develop liver disease as a result of alcohol abuse, or you develop, let's say, depression, anxiety, psychosis as a result of, let's say, intake of maybe methamphetamine or cocaine, etc. Then you are said to you can develop that from harmful use of the psychoactive substances. A critical global, the drug or substance abuse is a critical global public health and socio-economic challenge. Globally, drug use is rising at an alarming rate. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, about 5% of global population aged 15 to 64 uses illicit drugs annually, with increasing trends among adolescents and young adults. Cannabis remains the most commonly used drug at global level, followed by amphetamines. overall, men are 3 times more likely than women to use cannabis, cocaine, or amphetamines. And women are more likely than men to engage in the non-medical use of opioids and tranquilizers. So coming down to African context, Africa is no longer just a transit route for drugs. It is now a major consumption hub, particularly opioids and cocaine. Over 90% of global tramadol seizures occurs in the continent, that is in Africa. So this number is not small. 90% of global tramadol seizures is in Africa. We are also witnessing a shift from traditional drugs to more dangerous synthetic substances. Across Africa, the new drug mixtures, there is rising availability of synthetic drugs mixtures such as Kush. Maybe some of us might know this, or maybe that if you are associated with media because of globalization, even if something happens in particular country, of course, you will get to know it due to we are in a digital world. So there is a mixture that is called Kush. Monkey tail is another mixture. Hunger is another mixture, and white pipe, etc. There are many of them actually. Maybe let me just check a little time to say some things about this because it's important. This monkey tail is not actually the tail of monkey, as the name implies. It is a commonly patronized mixture that is used in Otoke, Bayelsa State. According to a study published by Eni Yemini et al. At the Federal University of Otoke, the monkey tail is a hot drink that is made from fermented combo of Indian hemp, that is marijuana or cannabis. So Indian hemp leaves or seeds and dry gin, that is local gin. We call it ogogoro. They call it ogogoro actually. So this particular mixture is taken because they feel it is an appetite enhancer and it gives them euphoria. And the mixture is readily available and popular among the youth. Among the youths, the security agents, bus drivers, even the elderly actually, they take it, which is, and it's very detrimental to their health. This Kush, I don't know, like there is a particular term that is called zombies of Sierra Leone. This term was derived from this because of this particular mixture. It turns young individuals into zombies. It is mostly abused in Sierra Leone, that is just close to us in Africa. It is found mostly in Guinea and Liberia, but because of the porous border between them, it is mostly abused in Sierra Leone, and it contains cannabis indica, fentanyl, tramadol, formaldehyde, and according to some, human bones. So they go far into having a mixture with the bones of dead human beings. And so just to get high. So this mixture, each one of them, if you take cannabis, is something that will just turn you something else. Then go to tramadol, then go to formaldehyde, then fentanyl. Then they now added, some of them are adding the bones of dead individuals. So this concoction or this particular mixture, if you take it, will just turn you into zombies. And that's what they want actually. So it gives them euphoria, relaxation, altered state of consciousness, drowsiness, a lot of effects. It makes them to disconnect from the happenings around. The hunger and the white-5 are found mostly in South Africa. So I just put them like this one, the monkey tail in Nigeria, then the kush that is commonly abused in Sierra Leone. There are many of them actually that individuals take. So we are seeing a shift from traditional substances to more dangerous or regulated drug combinations. And the intersection of weak health system and rising exposure makes the condition worse. When we narrow our focus to Nigeria, the situation becomes more alarming. Nigeria presents one of the highest drug use prevalence rates globally. From the statistics, our prevalence is 14.4%, which is nearly 3 times the global average. So just imagine Nigeria, like the global average is around 5%. Then Nigeria, we have 14%. So we are like times 3 of the global average. And nearly that's we are times 3 of the global average. Then about 1 in 7 Nigerians engage in illicit drug use, and 1 in 5 users suffers serious health consequences. So among young people, the numbers are even higher, with some studies suggesting prevalence rates of between 20 to 40%. So the substances commonly used, the drug use is most common among individuals aged 25 to 39, but is increasingly observed among adolescents and students. The pattern of drug use is diverse in Nigeria, with alcohol as the most commonly abused substance, then followed by cannabis, that is the most commonly abused illicit drug. The non-medical use of opioids, such as tramadol and codeine, is seen to be rapidly increasing. And these drugs, unfortunately, or shall I say, yes, let's say it's unfortunate actually. These drugs are cheap and widely available, and they are dangerously addictive. So the trend is we are seeing shifts to synthetics from the local traditional drugs that are abused to synthetics and locally mixed substances. This is the trend that is found. Some are even using glues actually to just show the extent. And that glue will turn them high. This is commonly abused in Nigeria. In Nairobi, they call them zombies Nairobi. They just get a shoe shiner close by and take the glue, and it just turn them high. And that's all, they just disappear from the reality. Coming down to northern Nigeria, at first glance, the statistics may suggest that the north is slightly having lower prevalence rate compared to south, because we can see our prevalence is approximately 10 to 14.9%. Then that of the south is 13.8 to 22.4. However, we are very much aware of underreporting in our society, and also some cultural influences that may not make these values the real. Also, even if to say this, even if we say like this prevalence rate 10 to 14% is it truly belongs to us, is actually high. 14% is also the times 3 of the global prevalence. And unfortunately, in northern Nigeria also, if you take by state, Kano State is the state with the highest prevalence, and it's the state with the highest prevalence in the northwest and even in the north. with 16% prevalence. It is highest actually. And it is a major consumption and distribution center. According to NDLEA report of 2025, about like more than 1,400 suspects were arrested, and more than 7.7 tons of illegal drugs were seized. So the socio-economic impact is often severe in our society due to our underlying vulnerabilities. And this includes the poverty and unemployment, the low educational attainment, and school dropout. We have a lot of school dropouts in our north. The Almajiri system, for instance, exposes many individuals to street life at an early age. And this increased their susceptibility to substance abuse. Also, in addition, the ongoing insecurity and displacement in parts of the north have disrupted a lot of families and communities, leaving many young people without guidance and support. And in such conditions, drug often becomes a form of escape, a coping mechanism for hardship, frustration, and hopelessness. Another vulnerability is our weak enforcement and porous borders. We have porous land borders that facilitates drug trafficking. So the emerging trends in the north include the increased use of tramadol, codeine, and locally mixed substances, the rising youth involvement in drug-related crimes, and the growing normalization of substance use in informal settings. So we are going to look at some important terminologies because they are very much important in understanding the menace of drug abuse. This includes drug addiction, psychological craving, tolerance, and withdrawal symptoms. So drug addiction is a complex illness characterized by compulsive and at times uncontrollable drug craving, seeking, and use that persist even in the face of extremely negative consequences. A major feature of addiction is the loss of control in limiting the intake of the addictive substance. So that person totally lost control in limiting that intake because his brain is no longer how it was. Scientists have learned a great deal about biochemical, cellular, and molecular basis of addiction. And it is clear that addiction is a disease of brain. So when people first try drugs, it is usually a voluntary decision. At first trial, it's just a voluntary decision and they can just think of leaving it. But after using the drug for a while, it is no longer voluntary. It now becomes a compulsion for them to take it. So why can't people stop? Why can't people just stop taking the drugs? Why can't people just stop? The answer is simple. Because their brains have been rewired by drug use. So there is a reward system in our brain. If you take something, a dopamine is released and you feel that pleasure. So normal reward, for instance, for let's say you take food, you feel pleasure actually because your hunger has been satisfied. You take water, your taste was satisfied. You feel that pleasure, you feel it in your body. So the natural reward for that, like your dopamine level will rise to about 50 to 100%. However, if you take, let's say, cocaine or methamphetamines, the level of dopamine will rise to, as it was said, to more than 200 to 1,000%. So just imagine. So with constant repeated exposure, your brain system will be rewired and that individuals cannot just stop the abuse. So addiction is a developmental disease. It starts early. From this picture, we can see that the first marijuana use, that it depicts the individual's first marijuana use, the percent of initiates. 1.5% of individuals start at less than 12 years. Then 67% initiate marijuana use at 12 to 17 years, at the age of 12 to 17. So if at whatever level or at whatever age you start, it will be difficult for you to stop. In fact, it may take you a lifetime to fight and stop it. And let's say you start at a particular age. Mostly adolescents started during adolescence, or at least before getting to adulthood. But such individuals tend to continue, and they find it difficult to stop. So the prevention efforts are therefore of primary importance, and is just to stop the drug abuse before it ever starts. Brain changes resulting from prolonged use of drugs may compromise mental and motor function. The dopamine that is unregulated controls a lot of things in our brains. It controls the reward system, the pleasure, emotion, mood, motivation, motor control, cognition, attention, focus, a lot actually. It controls the mental health, and the imbalance leads to depression, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, a lot. And it can also, it's through the dopamine that we develop addiction. So we have to be careful with taking with this substance abuse. The other terminology that is important is psychological craving. Psychological craving is a strong desire. It's just a strong desire or urge to use drugs. Cravings are most apparent during withdrawal. For instance, an individual decides not to, like maybe to stop taking a particular substance that he has been taking. So one of the things that that individual will be having is that psychological craving. He will be craving for that particular substance. Just let's say, for instance, this picture, this individual is craving to smoke cigarette. And it's one of the symptoms that clinicians battle with during treatment and rehabilitation. Another term is tolerance, which is a state in which a person no longer responds to a drug as they did before, and a higher dose is required to achieve the same effects. So as individual is using a particular drug, his brain will get used to it and will be craving for more. So if you respond to, let's say, a particular dose, you have to be increasing the dose for you to feel what you are feeling. Then withdrawal. Withdrawal is a period during which somebody addicted to a drug or other addictive substances reduces their use or stops taking it, causing the person to experience painful or uncomfortable symptoms. Or simply, a person takes similar substance in order to avoid experiencing the effects described above. So at withdrawal, that individual will be experiencing painful and uncomfortable symptoms. That individual might be experiencing nauseating symptoms. He might be having nausea. You might be having difficulty with sleep. You sometimes even salivate. There are a lot of symptoms associated with withdrawal. And that person needs to take similar substance before he stops experiencing that withdrawal symptom. So drug abuse is a dangerous thing, actually. The best is not to is just is to stop the abuse before it even ever starts, because all these things are experienced during treatment and rehabilitation if you decide to stop. So why youth initiate drug use? The key motivators and conditioning factors include just to forget. For instance, he's in a particular state of stress or hardship, or maybe in pains. So he just want to forget that particular stress. Some will just, that thing will motivate him to start taking drugs. Or it could be purposeful, maybe because the substances are easily available and he has been seeing them available. You just purposely take them. Then for fun, the pleasure might motivate somebody to start taking drugs. Then the social or educational disadvantage, where some individuals initiate drug use because of maybe early sexual exposure at young age, or something happened. The initiation starts through experimental use. The younger individuals are usually curious, they have curious minds, so that experimental curiosity will make some of them to start to initiate drug abuse. Unfortunately, as they start, before they go long, they can be able to reverse it. But if they continue for a long time, then it's no longer voluntary. It becomes something it becomes a necessity for them to take the substances. Then another factor is the peer pressure. Initiation starts with peer pressure. When he sees his peers, many of them are taking drugs, then that pressure might initiate that individual with drugs. So a major reason people take a drug is they like what it does to their brains. This is the major reason that people take drugs. Factors that influence drug use. There are at least 3 different categories of factors. There are initiation factors, predisposing factors, precipitating factors, and perpetuating factors. So these factors makes individual to start abusing drugs. At first, an individual is predisposed to maybe some traumatic conditions or to some life events or happenings. Then he is predisposed to start taking drugs. Then if that thing is coupled with the enabling factors, then that individual will continue. Then with reinforcing factors, for instance, in tobacco use, that individual will become now a perpetual perpetual drug abuser or substance abuser. So the socio-economic implications. So I hope we are all together, right? Because
yes, Dean, we are.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much.
We are with you 100%.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
So this is the second aspect of our lecture, the socio-economic implications. I'm going to discuss this under these headings: the health and human capital development, economic consequences, crime, violence and insecurity, educational decline, social disintegration. So now let's examine why this issue should concern all of us, not just as individuals, but as a society. First, we should consider the impact on health and human capital. Drug abuse affects brain, impairs judgment, and leads to mental health disorders, such as depression, anxiety, psychosis, etc. It also predisposes individuals to developing infectious diseases such as HIV, AIDS, and hepatitis, especially with injectable drugs, because there is sharing of shots, sharing of needles. You don't know that the person you are sharing shots, we don't know his HIV status, and you don't know his hepatitis status. So that particular infectious disease will be shared along with the shop. So, and also another major health issue with intravenous drug use is also that the particular point that they are injecting themselves with it, there will be infection, then cellulitis, sepsis, a lot of things. The hand can even become gangrenous, and they have to amputate it. Like in simple terms, that hand, it becomes gangrenous, it has to be cut. It is estimated that 1 in 5 drug users suffer significant health consequences. Health challenges reduces productivity and economic potentials of affected individuals. A young person who is dependent on drugs is less likely to be productive, less likely to be employed, and more likely to require medical and social support. Another aspect is the economic consequences, which could be direct or indirect. The direct economic consequences is seen in high cost of treatment and rehabilitation, if such individuals want to live normal life, like wants to reverse and come back to live normally. Then the indirect cost includes the reduced workforce participation, increased absenteeism during work in workplaces or in schools, etc., and poor performance, unemployment, poor performance during work, unemployment. That person is unemployable actually. So this is an indirect economic cost of drug abuse. The household incomes mostly diverted from essential needs and investments, drugs. So the result at the end of the day is a cycle of poverty. And worthy of mention is that Nigeria spends substantial resources managing drug-related health and security challenges, diverting funds from development priorities. There is also a strong link between drug abuse and crime. Substance use can impair judgment and increase the likelihood of engaging in criminal activities. In Nigeria, drug abuse has been associated with armed robbery, with banditry, insurgency, and other forms of violence, cultism, gang violence, etc. The recent estimates suggest that a significant proportion of Nigerian youth involved in crime are also drug users. Also, just that check the bandit camps or the hideouts of the bandits, you will see that a lot of drugs are discovered in the bandits' hideouts. So drug abuse is associated with. There is a strong link between the two. And in northern Nigeria, where the insecurity is already a major concern, this connection is particularly dangerous. Drug abuse undermines education. It leads to poor academic performance, absenteeism, and school dropout. it can lead to reduced human capital development because the person is unable to develop himself and become an important member in his society. This weakens the foundation of human capital development and perpetuates the cycle of poverty, and is particularly concern is a point of concern in our environment where educational indicators are already weak. Another point is social disintegration. It leads to family breakdown, increase in domestic violence, loss of societal values and moral standards. The drug abuse as a developmental crisis. Drug abuse is a manifestation. The drug abuse in youth is a manifestation of broader developmental challenges, not in just northern Nigeria, but in the country at large. It reflects systemic failures in governance, education, and economic policy. In northern Nigeria, the intersection of poverty, unemployment, and insecurity creates an environment that facilitates substance abuse. The situation, true scale of the problem may be obscured, as I explained earlier, as underreporting and cultural factors can influence data accuracy. The situation is likely to worsen without targeted intervention. So the strategies for mitigation. So what can we do now? The first is prevention. It's not to initiate drug abuse at all. So how can we do that? We have to ensure school-based education. Life skills training is important, and we have to imbibe that culture. Especially both governmental and non-governmental organizations. And I think worthy of mention here is the AHMADU BELLO Memorial Foundation. At this point, I must commend the efforts of the foundation for continuously organizing the life skills training for the youth. The last one was concluded just, I think, 2 months ago in Jigawa State. So our civil society organizations, the governments, and we need to imbibe this culture. And as reported by United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, this helps in the life skills training helps in reducing the drug abuse in youth and the crimes associated with drug abuse. Another point of prevention is community awareness campaigns. Young people need accurate information and positive role models. We must invest in education, both formal and informal. The second aspect is the treatment and rehabilitative services. For those that we cannot prevent, those that are already engaged in drugs and substance abuse, what we do to them is to treat them and rehabilitate. So we need to expand the rehabilitative services, to expand access. We need to integrate the mental health services into primary healthcare systems. I am very much sure a lot of us here are not aware of some of the rehabilitative centers in the state or in our states. And very few of us even those rehabilitative centers, some of them, if you go, you will see it as empty as what you can see. So the rehabilitative centers, the treatment and rehabilitation services needs to be expanded, and we integrate the services, the mental health services, into our primary healthcare system to increase the accessibility and to reduce stigma. Next is policy and enforcement, and it must be strengthened. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, are doing their best. They are trying. So the government needs to strengthen their efforts. And we also must the broader control and regulation of pharmaceutical drugs. The pharmaceutical drugs must be regulated, and it needs an urgent attention. We should also imbibe a culture of data-driven policy implementation. The socio-economic interventions that can be done includes the youth employment and empowerment programs. And this is perhaps one of the most important interventions, because we are addressing the root causes. We must create opportunities for young people, which include the jobs, education, and pathways to better future. Educational reforms, we need educational reforms in northern Nigeria. And this means investing in schools, supporting vulnerable children. And putting while supporting them, we engage them in education, both formal and informal. So different educational reforms must be ensured. In conclusion, drug abuse among youth is a major public health and development crisis that threatens the future workforce and social stability. Urgent coordinated action is needed to address both its health impacts and underlying socio-economic drivers. Let the discussion continue. We say no to drugs. Thank you all.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kasim, for that beautiful presentation. That was quite enlightening and educative. I thought you only know how to give injections and prescribe drugs. I didn't know that you have another side to your expertise. Thank you so much and well done. So I will give the floor to my Director of Programs, Haja Amina, to put in her, to make her comments, observations, and also do the needful. Haja Aminama.
I think, Aisha, at this junction, maybe you need to give the audience an opportunity to come in. Those who have maybe questions, those who have, before we actually come in with our own observation. Cool?
I thought you were going to take it up from there. Okay, but that's okay.
Well, if I take it up, I'll probably give another lecture. That probably longer than the dean. But let's give our audience an opportunity to.
Okay, that would be great. Okay,
ask have questions. Go.
All right, scholars.
Because I think
our distinguished guests, scholars in the house, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open for questions and answers, observations and comments. Please, you have the floor now. So you can raise your hand or you type into the chat box. The floor is open for questions and answers, comments and observations, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem as if people want to ask things. Maybe the lecture was so straightforward and
Raise my hand.
Okay, can you please ask your question? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Mine is an observation. I want to first of all commend AHMADU BELLO Foundation for this serial of lectures and also the Dean for a wonderful presentation. But I think since we are talking about the youths, my thinking is that I think the root causes, we should go to the root causes of the drug abuse, starting from the parental upbringing. I think there's a breakdown of moral values and also bringing child upbringing. So I think we need to address that at that level so that parents will also be up and doing in terms of instilling moral values to their children and also monitor them. Also at the early school age, also you find that there's a lot of indiscipline in our school system, particularly at the basic education level, because if the foundation is not right, that is why when the children are growing up and becoming adult and adolescents before the youth, that they find that they have a lot of peer influences and what have you. I think we need the reforms that he talked about, that is the educational reforms he suggested. I think it should start at the lower level, while the parents, the school-based management committee should be up and doing so that we can monitor what is happening in the schools. Even if the parents do their own job at the home, I think the school system also have to do at lower level, and then it continues up to university. Because if you see at the tertiary institution, we talk about that children, that our learners have achieved both character and learning. So you find that there's no mechanisms that is monitoring the character component. The learning, the continuous assessment is there, the learning achievement, whatever the examination, everything is there in the record. But the character is missing. I think in the reforms that we are going to instill in our educational level, I think we should also measure the character. And we have to find a way of monitoring instrument where we can be able to do. And all hands must be on deck. The parents, the teachers, the lecturers, and everybody. Thank you very much. That's my observation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Bashir. That's also very important.
Hello, as a rather to what, please, as a rather to what my brother has said.
Okay, sir.
Yes, I think in addition to what he has said and what the guest mentor has said, it will be very good in order to address these challenges. We require collective responsibility, both at the level of families, educational institutions, religious organizations, civil societies, as was mentioned by the guest mentor. The government must work together to promote awareness, provide moral and social guidance, create employment opportunities, very important. Some of our youth, they don't have work, and some are well educated, and sometimes depression and then unknown to their future. Some of them will just like to do whatever they want to do to achieve one or two things for immediate gain. And then we have to strengthen our rehabilitation programs and preventive education. We have to encourage this kind of mentorship we are doing, not only by AHMADU BELLO Foundation, but by other civil societies and government. Then the youth empowerment initiative is very essential. We should engage our youth into skills training by providing them with some capital to engage into trading and other activities, not to wait for government work all the time. And more essentially, in safeguarding the future of our society, we have to fight against drug and substance abuse among youth, not only as a moral obligation, but also as a socio-economic necessity. By investing our youth and protecting them from the dangers of drug abuse, we secure a healthier, safer, and more prosperous society for present and future generations. Thank you very much. That is my contribution.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for all the contributions from my two bosses, my Director of Finance and Malam Bashir Abu. Thank you very much. I can see somebody's hand. That's Yahya Abdullahi from among the scholars. And also there's a question from Adamu Ahmad Yarima. Who goes first between the two? Is it who is ready to talk? Adamu Ahmed or?
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, I think let him go first.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Abdullah Mohammed, a PhD scholar from Kimpahar University of Petroleum and Minerals here in Saudi Arabia. The guest speaker is one of my classmates at secondary school. So I'm very happy to see him talking about the drug abuse, which is a very important topic. I have some observations.
I'm very happy to see you do so.
Yeah, like the guest speaker made mention of some locally intoxicant that is usually used in the southern part of the country. He made mention of like monkey tail or something like that. So the same thing in the northern part, we also have some locally made intoxicants like the zakami, the gadegi, the burukutu, akuskura, and sometimes the youth use shisha. They make some concoctions and they make something to add to shisha so that they can be they can be high. So these are some of the local intoxicants that I use in the northern part, and there are many actually. These are some that I can remember. Then apart from that, I also have some questions. I think two questions. One is how do you think that we can curtail drug abuse? You made mention of some policies and law enforcement. So you see nowadays that most of our politicians, they're using the youth to achieve their political goals and ambitions. So how do you think that we can use policies and law enforcement to curtail drug abuse? While those in position, they are the ones supplying the intoxicant for the youth. And then the second question is that how can we regulate the local intoxicant? Maybe probably we can regulate the synthetic ones or the drugs that have been supplied, especially maybe from outside or from companies or by the government. But the local ones that have been made, how can we regulate them? So thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm happy to see you actually. I'm very, very happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yahya Abdullah Muhammad. I think we should take, do you want to respond to that, Dr. Kasim, or we take the other person so that you can respond to both?
Okay, let's take all the questions. I think is
all right. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very big thank you and thumb up to the presenter. Well, my name is Adam Mohamed Yarma, a PhD student in HBU, Bauchi, and a lecturer at FCT Gombe, and one of a community serving, or let me say, a struggler with the youths in day-to-day activities. Well, mine is a contribution as follows. Well, firstly, I would like to advise, if possible, we can get a collaboration with the ministries of education from each and every school, let me say states, so that if agreed upon, we can create club and society that is AHMADU BELLO, which at least will be tasked with some activities that they will be doing at every term in organizing programs like this. One, the sensitization program against drugs and so many things like that. Two, if possible, the local chapters of this foundation should pick it up as a challenge to look for how they can manipulate the students in creating dramas, poetries, poems, in order to change the mindset of the student. There's this thing we call Catch Them Young in Halima Factor Community Initiative. We catch the students young, whereby we make them learn how to speak, that's public speaking, how to present their poems, and so on and so forth. So if we can use this avenue of drama, or even sharing flyers that caution against the use of substance and drugs, it will help a lot in changing their mindset. Then creating or organizing a sponsorship, or let me say a quiz of to those students that have been rehabilitated, those that we find that before maybe in one or the two reasons of their own or challenges, they find themselves in this kind of peer groups where they take substance. So if we find out that they are okay and they are ready to roll, we can pick one or two or three and sponsor the education, which is not that expensive, and it can be invested on some members from other states. So I think if this can be done, we can at least reach them out, or let me say, reach them from their younger age and having the maintenance of these drugs. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, AHMADU. So, Dr. Kasim, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much.
No, sorry, please. My hand is up, please.
Okay, all right.
Oh, Lukman, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Since you said that the facilitator will take all the responses at once, I feel at this point I can make one or two contributions. Actually, mine is not a question per se; it's just a contribution. By the way, my name is Lukman Babatunde. I'm the Kaduna State Coordinator of Rotary Action Group for Peace. The Rotary Action Group for Peace is the Rotary arm that is saddled with the civil society activities of Rotary. And one of the activities we are championing is uh, education consciousness in drug abuse that is prevalent among our society, especially in northern Nigeria, which is basically our station for now. So I'm happy to be part of this conversation, and I'm happy that an organization like this, AHMADU BELLO Foundation, is championing, is at the forefront of this campaign against the use of hard drugs. You agree with me that a majority of the violence we encounter in our society is due to the indulgence in illicit drugs, especially by our youth. So, one of the things I would like the Sadana Foundation to make a lot of investment in is to see into the channel of supplies of these drugs. Yes, we will argue that northern Nigeria doesn't have seaports and is not a transit point for the entries of these drugs. But I think it will not be out of place for the headship of the foundation to take on an advocacy with the policymakers, the government, to if it's for us to go to Brazil's and all these Argentina, all these drugs, where they import these drugs into our country, involve the makers, the manufacturers, the pharmacist company. I once saw a company a video sometimes back about an Indian that was boasting that their major market is northern Nigeria. He was the one was the major supplier of these tramadol into the Nigerian market, and Nigeria is its major market. So it was a BBC reporter or a CNN reporter that did that then in the years back. Also, the demand reduction. We also need to invest more on demand reduction on these drugs. Yes, it has been argued that apart from the organized foreign drugs that found their way into our country, yes, there is also the problem of demand, and I am happy that someone made mention of the home front, which is the first front agent of socialization. One of the means we can strategize in reducing this demand is for us to consciously work on our population. I'm not necessarily talking about population control here. What I'm saying is we should encourage a population which we can manage. And while doing this is we will need the support of majority of our clerics, because it's a cultural thing to start engaging the family, to start the engagement at the family level on how to see when how a family can have a relatable size of a number of children what they can manage and take care of. So that's part of the supply demand reduction in drugs. Also, the education, catch them young. And the last point I will talk about concerning the reduction here is the harm reduction. You see, for youth that are already engaged, that have gone far in taking these drugs, even you agree with me, it's not only youth. There are women in the house, housewives who are not going out, that are using this drug, maybe as a depressant, antidepressant,
to kill depression or what have you. So it's not only youth. So, and it's not something we can just take them off at once. That will have its own side effects also. So we can also invest on some means alternative to this drug use as we are introducing them, as we are taking them away from the use of drug. Sorry, please, I'm taking a lot of time. Let me quickly round off my points. I am part of a program that is being championed by the Office of the National Security Advisor on National Community Violence Reduction Program. And last year, September 21st, we had an outreach at the Rigasa to sensitize the youth. We brought many major stakeholders from the community, the religious, civil society to come and engage these youth on a grassroots. My point is, I'm aware that the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital in Kaduna here and the Kasamsa, which is the former Kadusa, are making a lot of efforts in investments on local community health workers from our primary health centers. They have trained these health workers to be the first intervention. They will be the first contact because they are the closest to the community on how they can intervene in situations when we have challenges of drug use that has now accumulated into other things, into challenges in the society. I think if the foundation can also key into this initiative, it will go afar. And lastly, please, while we are doing this, we should also carry along all these influencers, the celebrities in our society.
Sorry, cut it short, please. Or I guess time, please. Although I'm not the moderator, but even though you are making important points, but now.
What we can do is to Mr. Lukman, are you still there?
I'm with you.
Please, what we will do is, I think we can discuss further after the meeting.
Yes.
Contact you, and then we can sit together with Dr. Kasim and we talk further about this. But we really appreciate the contributions that you've made. I didn't want to put in before. Okay. Please.
And thank you very much for being with us.
Yes, please. Thank you. So, Dr. Kasim, please respond to all the three questions, and then we can give the floor to our directors to make their final.
Yes, all right. Thank you very much, Ma. I thank you very much those that were able to ask questions, those that give contributions and observations, also additions. Thank you very much. And I think I have to say this, that important point, I have to still iterate and portray it, that the charity begins at home, and family is the #1 agent of change in the society. So whatever you see, it usually begins at home. So an important point of tackling this menace is going back to our families and correcting that problem right there. It requires a multifaceted, a multi-sectorial approach, as I mentioned during the presentation, to curb the problems of drug abuse in our society. Yahya Abdullahi, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for your contribution. I'm very much happy to see you here with us. You remind me something when you were given the that's as part of your contributions of mentioning some local mixtures and concoctions and some local drugs that are used in our northern Nigerian setting. Mentioning Zakami made me, I think I will just bring this to us, and it's very important for the discussion, and it's actually something practical that happened in our secondary school, during our secondary school days. You know, somebody was brought as a newcomer in the school. And when he was brought, he was used to taking his zakami. So he came to the boarding house, he prepared zobo and put that zakami there. So that was the beginning of the problem. So a lot of them, they were actually our mates. Yeah, we have been in with the Abdullah from JS1 to SS3. So at the boarding house, a lot of students took that zobo, drank it. Him that was used to taking it, his body was used to it. He just slept. That boarding house, that's how, like, those students that took that zakami, they scattered everything actually. In fact, some were insulting the principal that was trying to take them to the hospital. Some were insulting him, different, like it was just a complete scenario. So he just mentioning that zakami reminds me of a lot of them. I was not part of them actually, part of those that took the zakami, but those that took it, I think most of them slept in the hospital that day. So thank you for your contribution. Two questions that you asked. How can we use policies to curtail drug abuse when the policy makers and are the ones that are the ones that are giving people the drugs to intoxicating them for their own purposes? Actually, the answer to this question is it's the implementation of the policies. Actually, is through the implementation of the policies. So we have to implement the policies in order to curtail the drug abuse. Nigeria is a country with very beautiful policies. If you go through the policies in by NDLEA, the National Food and Drug Administration and Control Agency for Food, Drugs and Administration and Control, the NAFDAC, the Pharmaceutical, I think Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria or something. The policies, we have very beautiful policies. And if we are able to implement them, wallahi, a lot of things in the country will just move perfect, will just move well. Unfortunately for us, sometimes the policymakers, as you mentioned, are the ones breaking the rules. So I think this is the habit that we have to change. If we change the habit and we implement our policies successfully, we can be able to curtail the menace of the drug abuse. How can we regulate the local ones? The local ones also, there are a lot of policies for the regulation of the local concoctions, local mixtures, the local drugs that are available and widely used in our environments. What we need is also to implement those policies. So what is needed is the policy implementation. And we have to, like, when we say this is black, it should remain black. It should not be white or red. So unfortunately, this is not common with our Nigerian setting, but we have to, if we want to see the right things, we have to implement our policies. The relevant agencies, the government needs to empower them. They need to empower them. They need to increase their funding. They need to allow them to discharge their duties effectively. And also at the health sector, we need to integrate prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation to address the underlying mental health challenges that often accompany the substance use disorders. So, like, we have very beautiful policies. If we are to follow them, we actually, even the policy on integrating the mental health centers to primary health care, we have them actually. Unfortunately, we are not working on them. So what we need to work on is the implementation. Is the implementation. And then I was able to capture, I don't know whether it was the other person said he wanted to give an observation, a contribution, and the other two speakers, the two people that asked, that were able to speak, the gap observation, I think. But these are the two questions I was able to capture. Thank you very much, all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad Qasim, for your for sharing your wealth of experience and knowledge about drug and substance abuse with our youth. Thank you so much. I'll give the floor to Haja Amina to make her contribution before we now have our Director General speak. And I think also Mr. Moses is in the house, if they all have their observations and comments to make. Ma.
Yes, Aisha, thank you for this opportunity. Dean, we are highly indebted to you for this very topical issue that you have discussed. This has been an issue of concern. And as you can see from even the questions and the contributions you received, this has been an issue that a lot of NGOs, a lot of concerned citizens have tried to proffer solutions, because issue of drug abuse is a very, very big issue in Nigeria today. We all need to put our hands on deck to try to curb this menace, especially like you said, we don't have any ports in the north, but we seem to be the biggest consumers of these drugs. We don't, all the drugs that are being brought from the south are brought here for our youth. And our youth are the ones who are severely impacted by the drugs that they are taking. We are very happy with Mr. Babatunde's contribution, and like we said, would like to continue the conversation offline to see how we can partner with him to come together to proffer more solutions to these problems. Thank you so very much, Dean. This is an issue that not only the youth, and somebody also said not only women have this issue, it cuts across the whole social strata.
And network is...
Okay, you can't hear me, Ko? You can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you sound and clear.
Thank you,
yes,
sir.
but we can hear you very loud.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's very clear.
Well, let me not belabor and sort of give the DJ and the other directors also the opportunity to come in. Thank you so much, Dean. We are most grateful for this opportunity, and we will continue to do the advocacies that we are known for, and we will encourage other people to also come so that we can partner and take this to the next level, to the government organizations that are concerned, to all concerned citizens. Thank you so much. God bless. Mungodi Suse.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for your comments and contribution. Mr. Moses, our Deputy Director of Finance in the House. Mr. Moses.
Okay. Yeah, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to appreciate our guest mentor, Dr. Kashim, and then every other person that gave their observation. Bashir Abu, DFA, and Babatunde, and you are here from Saudi Arabia. I appreciate every one of you for your thoughts on this topic, drug and substance abuse. It's actually endemic in our society, just as the guest mentor has presented it. And my own observation is that, just as Bashir said, the family front, we have a lot to do. Most times, our children are lured into these things as a result of peer pressure. But if they are deeply rooted from the family, they'll be able to navigate through it, and then they will not allow themselves to be used, to be lured into drugs and substance abuse as one of the ways out. For all your observations, your questions, and the responses by our guest mentor, I only appreciate every one of you for even being patient till now. Thank you very much. That's the little I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moses. Okay, now, so finally, before we draw the curtains, I would like to give the floor to our Director General to give the final touch on this. Okay, that is, sir. I don't know if the DG is still on board.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, we can hear you now, sir.
Okay, so good afternoon. Our guests, directors, and everyone present. I want to appreciate the guest speaker for a well-articulated delivery on a topic that is of utmost importance. The issue of drug abuse is something that not only destroys the life of the abuser, but actually destroys the very fabric of the society, and that is the youth, the youthful population. Even though we all know that the issue we are facing now has transcended, in fact, more than the youth. Someone here mentioned even very senior people, especially our mothers, women in the houses, indulge in this acts. So the issue is a societal problem that is gradually but quickly actually becoming a menace. And this kind of program is not even enough. Many of these sort of engagements need to be taking place in order to sensitize people, to inform people, and also to draw the attention of people to the dangers, of these antisocial behaviors. So yes, I commend Dr. Kasim. I'm not surprised that he has done a wonderful delivery. He is the leader of all the scholars that have passed through AHMADU BELLO World Foundation Scholarship Program. I think if today, by God's grace, we are not here again as the people running the foundation, wherever we are, we will still be proud that we've been able to bring up people like Dr. Kasim and his colleagues that we are sure will take over, the reins of the foundation even long after we are gone. So thank you, Kasim, for what you have done. Thank you for what you are actually doing at your level at the Scholars Forum. The audience, some people have hidden their names, but I know I want to specifically bring out Dr. Mariam Magaji from the University of Abuja. She has been here quietly. Thank you for coming. Of course, our friends, there are many here, Bashir Abu and the rest. Thank you for your unwavering commitment. Let me say that this program is unique in the sense that we are targeting the youth. And as we can see from this delivery, the youth, as exemplified by Dr. Kasi, are taking their destinies in their own hands. What he's been able to do here, no other elderly person would have done better. So it's a thing of pride. And I think if we continue in this manner, then the problem that we are talking about will gradually fizzle away. It's not an easy thing, but more and more of people in the age bracket of Kasim and below to be involved in a lot of advocacy and sensitization programs regarding drugs and substance abuse. And as a consequence, I want to say whatever we have discussed here, all the suggestions, all the recommendations will be documented for our effective utilization. The Department of Programs shall submit, in detailed form, all the recommendations put forward by all the speakers in this place, so that we can carry, the issue forward, liaise with all relevant government agencies at federal level, and most especially at states, at the various 19 states level. Now, also, starting Monday, whatever we've discussed here will be in the public domain by way of press statements, press releases coming from the AHMADU BELLO Foundation as outcome of this youth mentorship program with this, accompanying recommendations. Now, I have two observations to make. One pertaining to the foundation, to our staff at the foundation, and the second one pertaining to our members of the forum, of the SABMF Scholars Forum. The attendance of our staff here, especially the senior staff, is abysmally low. The director of administration needs to do something in this regard. We have made the attendance to be mandatory, and I don't know why just a few of us are here. The director of admin needs to stamp his feet and ensure that in subsequent programs, every staff attends. Every staff, it is mandatory. In the same vein, I have also noticed that the participation of scholars is not encouraging, and I am disappointed, more so that the presenter is the leader of the scholars. And so I don't know why, whether the organizers have not done enough sensitization on the program. They have not advertised the program so much that people can participate or not, is what I don't know. But things have to improve. We are reeling out programs that are very, very, germane to the development of northern Nigeria and the nation in general, and yet the apathy is also high. We need to do something on that. So let me round up with these few questions, with these few posers. They may not require direct answers here, but I feel it's something that we should, ruminate over in our individual capacities as leaders in our various ways and rights, and also collectively as elites in northern Nigeria. question number one is, why is it that when our youth travel down south in search of greener pastures, you notice that they use open trucks, jam-pack themselves? I'm using the word open truck, whereby weather, rainfall, beats them. And in some cases, you will see them with donkeys and horses and goats and rams, and you will hardly differentiate between a human being and these animals going down south, and they are subjected to all forms of, mistreatment, inhuman treatment. Now, this is on one hand. On the other hand, you will see the youth from the south who come to the north in search of greener pastures. You see them in luxury buses, in buses, even if they are not those long luxury buses. You would never or hardly see them in those open, trucks we call roca, or those open bodied cars. Why is it so? That's poser number one. The second poser is, why is it that when our youth go there, they are the megats, they are the shoe shine people, they are the nail cutters, all sorts and forms of menial, degrading jobs are what they engage in. And of course, Okada riders. Then contrast to the youth that come from the south. When they come here, you see them opening shops, pharmacy shops, or the other patent medicine shops, opening spare parts, electrical, mechanical workshops, and so on and so forth. Why the contrast? Then the third one is that while our youth who go down south and spend years, whenever they are coming back to the north, they come back as poor as they left the north, with nothing to show. Whereas the youths that from the south that have come to the north end up buying properties here in the north, building properties, expanding their businesses, and also building properties, owning vehicles down south. Why do we have this economic disparity? What is wrong with the system? Why are we importing and exporting poverty? And why are they importing and exporting wealth, and so on? Overall, we cry about drugs and substance abuse amongst our youth. Who imports drugs to our society? Who consumes the drugs in our society? And why is it that over there, they have some substantial control in their youth? Of course, I have not even talked about, even here, the prevalence of AHMADU and out-of-school children, vis-a-vis in the other side of the Niger. So these problems may have direct or indirect relationship with the topic that we have dealt with today, but they are a clear and present danger to our society and our future, especially the future of our youth, the future of our country. In most cases, these are what will define our socio-political, relationship between us here in the north and our brothers and sisters in the south. Our aim at the AHMADU BELLO Foundation is to always strive to ensure that we bridge gap, these disparities that I have mentioned. How do we bridge them? And reeling out these posers so that the youth, especially members of the Scholars Forum, will realize that they have a heavy burden on them, a very, very big burden. We are gradually passing the torch to them, and the more they realize, or the quicker they realize that they have a strong responsibility, ahead of them, the better for them. And that is why I lament the poor attendance of the scholars in this mentorship programs. Not this one, only this one, but in even the previous ones. And I hope that subsequently things will improve. We will not be able to solve all our problems just in once, but we are making efforts, and we believe that gradually, things will improve with this kind of programs and with the determination of at least the enlightened youth among us, as exemplified by, the presentation made by Dr. Kasim and the contributions of his colleagues here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for taking so much time. Thank you very much. And it's already 1 o'clock. Aisha, you have done well. And we look forward to another exciting program in April. Yes, in April. Towards the end of April, God willing. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for all your final touch, the comments, the advice, the contribution.
I think one of our board members is with us. Amuna Lawan Ali, she's with us. If you can say something, yes. She's our board member, yes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Please allow her to say something.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hope everybody is fine.
Alhamdulillah, ma.
This is a very, very interesting topic, honestly. And one of the things I do in my retirement is on substance abuse, which includes drug abuse too. As the DG has mentioned, it has become a menace throughout northern Nigeria, not just with the youth, but with women, particularly married women. So it's not just enough to talk to 1 or 2 state governors. I think there must be concerted effort by all the 19 state governors. Perhaps there is need for us to relate with organizations that deal with such issues, perhaps present a position paper at one of their meetings so that they tackle this thing headlong. But really today, it is one of the major problems we have in the north. Even this insecurity we are talking about, it's all related to it. Politicians also use our youth, give them drugs to go and do what they want them to do. So I think there is much more to this issue than just 1 or 2 lectures. The resource person has done a good job. We really appreciate what he has done, but there is need for us to do much more as an organization. I mean the AHMADU BELLO Memorial Fund. Thank you very much. I'm really glad to be part of this. And I look forward to many more in this direction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you so much, ma. We are most grateful, ma, for seeing you at
You're
our session.
welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ngodi sosai.
I often attend. Maybe you've not taken note. Whenever I'm around, I do.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ngodi sosai. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
You're welcome,
DFA, for
and
your
well done.
observation.
Well done.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So, Aisha, over to you.
Yes. Okay, so a lot has been said, and I hope that for everyone here present, we have in fact, more than 1, 2, 3 things to take back home and ponder upon. May Allah make it easy for us and help us to change ourselves so that the situation of our society can change. Thank you everyone for attending. Thank you for your time. For the past over 1 hour we've been here, and we hope that you'll be available for our next series for next month. We'll make sure to roll out the invitation on time so that everybody can be aware of it by the special grace of God. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day, and God bless you all.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.